Everybody. So we have some dice over here, and 64, 6, and 8 are the highest numbers on them. Obviously, that is a D8, a die 6, and if you don't know what the 64 is, this is puppy right here. Yeah, it's from Mahjong. I play a lot of Japanese rules Mahjong, and we're gonna roll them because I like rolling dice. So let's see. All right, my ankle. If you're interested at all, drop the die 6. I'll retrieve that. It's still jacked. We got a 4 and a 3. Die 6 is retrieved. Give it a good old shaky shake and a 2. Terrible rolls. Terrible rolls. Terrible. Just terrible. This goes 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, and 64. Don't know what they're used for. I think they're used in Chinese Mahjong? I play Japanese rules. Because you need Han values less in Japanese, and I barely understood the Dora, and leave alone Han values, man. The Han values were too deep for me, son. What are we gonna be painting? Well, we could paint a few. We have a few options here. Man, that'll wake you up in the morning. Hello, Bronson. Good morning, Detroit. What was that about? Oh, my ankle's hurting like a it feels great. If you don't need coffee with this sort of ankle, man, I'll put it that way. You're just awake. All right. If we're gonna be painting those guys, the thing is that this dude's a completely different color scheme from this dude, and that guy. These two are the same though, ish. But these are all used in the list, and we'll get into that. Man, this is a tough call, actually. Which one do I want to paint more? Ooh, that's hard. We'll just do... We'll throw some white around here. I'm opening up my paint thing, which is right here. So I don't have to move anywhere to get any of my paints. Man. I'll tell you something. That's smarts. And, yeah, I got all my whites out. I got the off-white. I got the white gray. I got the stone gray. I got the pure white, and I got the ivory. Alright, let me put this in here. And yeah, well, yeah. Yeah. We'll start off with some ivories. So, the army that I won against my buddy who was running his Stormwolf was actually a pretty nice list. I like it. The Alpha Legion helps cover the holes that the Death Guard have tactically, strategically. The way that the I run the Alpha Legion perfectly complements my Death Guard. And it's kind of hilarious lore-wise, because I'm going to equip Plague Marine Squad! We're Plague Marines, guys! Why are you shooting a las cannon? No, it's a Plague Spewer! What it looks like, it shoots las cannon. Plague Spewer! That's what the Alpha Legion does. No, it's not. It's not a las cannon. That's what you actually run them with. At least what I'm running them with. You might want to run an auto cannon for points reduction. I was running a las cannon, and that was pretty effective because I got one round. Like, my buddy was gonna sit back and just try to shoot me, but I was advancing on him, and I shot at him. I shot at his Storm Wolf once with my las cannon, and he's like, alright, nope, not staying back here. I'm attacking him, which worked out for me because I was gonna march his Storm Wolf down on the table or just shoot it out of the sky eventually with the las cannon. Because the Alpha Legion had -1 to being hit, and I was also going to try and warp time a demon into it. And this is actually, I guess, part of it is you have a pretty decent coverage for nastiness that can be brought against you. You have a Demon Prince with wings, Sapparating Plate, Malefic Talons, and you have the Chaos Sorcerer and Terminator armor with warp time, and the Blood Rage, I forget what it's called, the +2 strength, +1 attack spell, and you cast the +2 strength, +1 attack on the Demon Prince. He casts Putrescent Vitality on himself, so he's strength 10, 8 attacks, and AP -2, damage 2. And, Sapparating Plate. So whenever he makes a save, they eat a mortal wound. So every armor save that you make is a mortal wound. Pretty fantastic, my dude. It's quite the beat stick. And then that is why they also shouldn't be shooting. Like, my buddy killed the guys with the las cannons, and that put him out of position, and then my Demon Prince flew into him and jacked his flyer. I mean, it lived, but that's because he command point re-rolled to save his flyer. Otherwise, it would have been blown out of the sky in the combat phase with my Demon Prince, and my Demon Prince would have just kept on trucking and annihilated stuff. Cause my Demon Prince only died because he shot it with a frost laser cannon thing. One of the D6 lasers from the Storm Wolf that was hitting on a 5. I think he hit it with 2 of them. Yeah, it's just I couldn't absorb all that damage after he survived. Not dying. After he survived that, just onslaught. And we'll talk about why the Death Guard need the Alpha Legion. One, because they don't get warp time or diabolic rage for the Demon Prince. And you can get other tasty things like prescience or there's other good stuff. The the Plague Marines, unless you have a Mytholytic Blight Hauler or a Plague Crawler, you don't have any 48-inch weapons. And I think the 48-inch weapons you do get hit on a 4. So, I mean, you can get Terminators, but the Terminators are way too expensive, and it's not really worth it. And the best vehicle, I find the Blight Hauler here to be just amazing, but No, it's not enough by itself. That little las cannon sitting in the back there at -1 to hit the whole game is the goad you need. Especially when you combine with one of those. Your enemies, you know, with just a few long-range shots, they're gonna hang back, try to sit at range, absorb the fire. You start bringing Havocs, or Havocs with auto, like, let's see, an auto cannon, 2 auto cannons, or a las cannon, or 2 auto cannons. Not the most expensive squads, and definitely, or just an auto cannon and a las cannon per Havoc squad. You don't need the heaviest fire here. You need somewhat reliable 3-up fire that they don't want to mess with, because the 4-up fire also faces negatives. Like the Stormwolf doesn't care about my 4-up fire coming from any of my demonic vehicles. I mean, I could flamer it, or shoot at it with blight launchers from my fetid blow drones there. But the thing is, again, that's a 4-up. Just one las cannon shot usually makes people go, alright, nope, not messing with that anymore, gonna kill that thing. So, that is the goad you're looking for, and since it's Alpha Legion, they're either gonna commit something to come and kill it, in which case you can counter their face off, or they're just gonna have to leave it there, which is probably not the option they're gonna go for. So, you run an interdiction an interdiction squad nearby, which was my Demon Prince, and so when they come in to smack up your las cannon and they commit, you've got your blight launchers arranged to the side so that you can shoot their army out and then charge it, ideally. That's not what happened with me, because, again, the Stormwolf survived, but that's how, it eventually worked out, and the strategy would have worked out way better had I been able to make charges on his squads that were back there, and also had I been able to make a few more wounds on that. Just one more wound that he'd have to make a save against would have been great against that Stormwolf. And that's how you run the Alpha Legion. That's what the Alpha Legion does. The Nurgle guys, Demon Prince, you should keep him for the command benefits. I didn't have much of a choice there. Let me turn this light on. I needed to kill the Stormwolf. Bad, like that Stormwolf needed to die. That Stormwolf needed to die yesterday, because it was jacking me. So my best option was a rage mode Demon Prince. I shot at it, and charged it. It didn't do much, but also, I wasn't expecting the shooting to do much, but the Demon Prince succeeded and also failed. It succeeded to the point where my buddy used a command point, but overall it failed in its objective. But I will take the attrition of making them use a command point. Let's talk about How to run the Death Guard. I think you know how I like to run my Death Guard. If you don't, I get it. What you need some of these blight launchers. That's what I'm gonna run. Blight launchers. 2 blight launchers. And a guy with one of these. A flail of corruption. It's tasty. It's tasty. And a champion of the plague sword. The flail of corruption, I guess, is optional. I'd bring it even if you were taking bolt guns, just because it makes people not want to charge you. And if you are doing what I commonly do, and I leave the shooting just to the blight launchers, because I'm okay with being in melee combat, is I equip the rest of my Marines with, where is he? Right there. Dual plague knives! Chop, 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 chop. Oh no! Started chopping at the scrotum. Watch out! That's the Plague Marine squad. Add ablative wound / extra damage Plague Marines till you see fit as flavor. Oh, I commonly run 1 to 2. You know, keep it down to the minimal 5-man squad. Maybe run a 6 or a 7. Maybe. But I like getting for every 5 Plague Marines, that's another squad, really. I like more blight launchers. So I go for less Plague Marines per squad and more blight launchers overall. I think that would work out. But you gotta make these choices for yourself. Maybe you run bolters. I view that as a waste of time, especially with you have a flail and plague knives. Like, your unit's not useless at range, because you just march around at 24 inches for a while. And especially with Death Guard, you can march and keep people at 24 pretty good. You can almost keep a Slaanesh army at 24. And Slaanesh is fast as shit, so that speaks for what you can do when you're advancing around 24, just shooting blight launchers. It's pretty nice. And then when they get within, they get that turn where you're trying to charge and you get within 6. You didn't advance because you're trying to charge. You pop a command point. You run. Oh, this is Warhammer, dog. What's up, Ollie? It's Warhammer 40,000. It's tactics for it. This is my army here, and there's a formation I'm talking about running that involves like a side force headed out by this guy, and talk about the troop selection now for the main component, the Death Guard, and the Death Guard are Plague Marines, and they're pretty nasty looking fellas. Or fantastic looking models, depending on the way you think about it. And the detachment I'm running is 5 Plague Marines and a squad, Oh, it's fun and expensive. It depends on like the way you look at it. If you're thinking about time invested, the way you look at a video game, I guess, you might be looking at, it costs $60, but it takes, 60 hours to play through, so I've invested 60 hours for my $60, or X 40 hours for my $60 or 20 hours for my $40 or so forth. Same thing kind of goes for Warhammer. It's hella expensive because like some of these kits are like this dude by himself and this dude by himself cost $25 a pop. And I got a lot of this army off of like pretty decent bonus deals. Like half of my Plague Marines came from me splitting boxes with my boys for like super cheap. And that's the way to do it. You find a friend, and especially if you're getting like the boxes that are coming out. Let me start painting again. This guy's critical to the formation here. You get a buddy who, you know, plays the opposite army of a box that you want to buy, and you wait for it to come out on eBay at like half price, and then you split the half price. All of a sudden, you're copping boxes for quarter price. It works out. But you can't get all of the models that way. That's a pretty decent, cheap way to start an army fast and cheaply. And you can just build an entire army that way, honestly, depending on what army you're building. And a little birdie told me that you might be able to 3D print them. I haven't done that, but you know, I might have talked to that bird a little while about how to do that. Dude, the stores, they cost so much money around here. They just like, I can get a box of Orc Boys off of the internet shipped to my house in 3 days for like $22 to $25. They want $30 at the store. Fucking this shit. I got 50. This box back here of these dudes. $50 off of eBay. I wouldn't have been able to cop that, but you know, I helped somebody out, and they're pretty generous in their recompense. But it's like $70 for that at a fucking store, man. $60. They just, who knows? Somebody might charge you $80 just because they're coming for that blood, son. And just buy them off the internet. Or go to the stores and buy a lot, because they'll give you like a 20% discount, and that kind of cuts it all back. But eBay, man. eBay's the fucking way, dude. eBay and Amazon. You can get some good shit off there. But, you know, unless you're like... I thought about playing Warhammer for a period of like, I don't know, a couple years before I got into it. And then, you know, me and my buddy had talked about it too, and then at one point I was like, ah, fuck it. So unless you like have thought about it for a while, my dude, and it's like magic. So you gotta be willing to get into what you're getting into kind of deal, you know? It's not think heavily about this. It's not a flippant... Plastic crack isn't a flippant decision. This is just straight plastic meth, dog. It's great though. I love it. Cause yeah, that's actually what this video is about, is a strategy for the game. Fuck. It's a strategy that I use to beat just not stop my homeboy, but he was running a list that he was like, there's no way you should be able to win this at this point, because he brought a super powerful airplane model that was like kind of fucked up for the points range we were bringing. He's like, dude, you'll be lucky if you win this, but the list I brought was powerful as shit, and it counted his well, so yeah, victory. You know, I think this is a pretty potent strategy, just overall like army to run. And yeah, it's got some punch. It's got long range features. These dudes right here, they're just regular Chaos Space Marines, and they're part of this legion called the Alpha Legion, and they're spies. and there's just like a patrol of them. This is the the secret ingredient that turns the whole thing to 11. Because we'll get into it. That's a poor avenue to take right there. They sneak in, and I'm gonna build a model who's got a weapon that looks like like one of these weapons, or actually, I guess more accurately would be like one of these. But in the game, it shoots like a laser cannon, and my Death Guard don't get that. The reason I use it is because the laser cannon has a 48-inch range, and this here, my Blight Launcher, has a 24-inch range. So there's a 2-foot range gap there. And I don't really even have 36-inch weapons available either. So I was having this pretty bad problem where my buddies would just sit at 36 or 48 and try to shoot me out with like artillery. And I'd have to just march into this arty. And so the Alpha Legion just showed up, and they just have a laser cannon. It's a little goad. It's a little goad that scares people. And they're like, alright, can't sit around with that laser cannon shooting me in the face. Gonna have to charge them. And my dudes pack these axes. And these flails. Drop the dude. So when they get into melee combat, I just jack them. It's not a melee-focused list, but it's an extremely melee-deterrent list, where I'm like, yeah, you come into melee combat, it's gonna be a bad day for you. And that's the way the list works out. It's good. It's actually really tasty, because now it's become a damned if you do, damned if you don't sort of situation. And I have high-speed power weapons, like my buddy gave me this dragon model here to represent a demon prince with wings and claws. They have these things called Malefic Talons, and that gives him a bunch of attacks. And so this guy casts a spell on him that makes him super angry. Like, it's called, I forget his rage, something rage. Gives him a +2 strength onto his strength profile, and a bonus attack onto his melee attack profile. And then he does this thing called Warp Time again that allows him to move after the movement phase again. So he moves twice in the same turn, where typically you only get to move once. So it effectively doubles his movement speed. And then he flies into the enemy's line, pissed off, and just fucks things up. While these dudes are sitting in the back shooting people, and then these dudes are marching down midfield, shooting them with their cannons, making them choose. You wanna deal with that thing, or with us? And when they get close, say they're at 6, 7, well, ideally, they start the turn at 11 inches from your whole squad. Because that allows a very specific move called Black Grenades to the Face Hole. Using this guy, he's a... Crap, I can't remember his name. Biologus Putrefier. That's his name. And so, say my buddy who plays Space Wolves, Space Marines, or my buddy who plays just straight Ultramarines. He advances into 11 inches of my squad. And then my squad moves up their 5 inches, because this guy powers up their Blight Grenades, which are special grenades my Plague Legion gets, because these are Space Marines sworn to the Plague God. And therefore they throw pretty, I was getting some paint there, they throw pretty nasty grenades, especially with this guy around. And it's just, it does so much damage. It does so much damage. Oh, it's so brutal when you throw grenades, because you have to pop a stratagem called Veterans of the Long War, and he has grenades just on him, just a thing he does. If you're within 3 inches of him, you just get super grenades. It's like it's an AoE command effect, and that's how this team sort of functions. It's because also, when they smack the guy, very important part is when they smack all your dude mangs, you got this guy. Oh, well, shit, man. Have a good one, dog. Thanks for watching, dude. Go handle what you need to handle. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to keep on trucking here. All right. So, Biologist Putrefier allows you to throw just, I guess it's, depending on your squad, 5d6, 66, 76, 3d6, 46 grenades, and especially if you stack elites on them, so, we'll run it like this. You see the little elite ball we got back there? This little elite ball we have back here. Each one of these guys gets to throw a strength 4 black grenade too. So, you pinion a squad off. You pinion your squads off. You keep your elites nearby. I typically don't keep these dudes nearby. They're too big, and I don't throw black grenades with them. Because it's just, they're too slow. Hashtag too slow. They're usually a counter impact unit is what I use them as. Just to be like, yeah, no, come over here. And then I heroic intervention with this guy. And I go slippity slap, 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 slap. Keep outside of their charge. And I try to heroic intervene. Doesn't work all the time. But you pinion your squads off them. And, when they do charge, you pop the veterans, you pop the grenade stratagem, you get the 66 5d6 grenades. Ideally, that squad has putrescent blades, or you do it with a different squad, one with putrescent blades, one with veterans. So you have 2 squads. No, you want to do it the same squad. You have 1 squad. Depending on, you don't need to veterans. It's just 1 command point for the grenade, so it stops, it stops from being a 2 command point expenditure every time. And you pop, veterans of the Long War, throw in, the grenades, throw in putrescent blades, wounded on a 4-up, you do mortal wounds. And since, die rolls fail to apply, excuse me. If I think minuses occur after rerolls. If not, we've been playing it wrong. And you can reroll all of your non-wounds because the modifiers don't apply yet. And then you reroll all your negative wounds. And you do more mortal wounds. So, whatever doesn't deal a 4-up mortal wound, you can reroll. And even at times, if you are fighting something that you require wounds on 5, you can get it with a 4. Stack a mortal wound on, reroll it, catch another 4, stack 2 mortal wounds on. Win at life. That might be too broken the way we're playing it, but either way, you're still dealing mortal wounds on a 4. And, it works out. It works out. I mean, it could... You fail your 6, 3, 2-inch charge, whatever it is... You're going to end up with, I don't know, I guess a pretty nasty situation. But at the same time, it's a 4-inch charge if you're at 5, or 6, at 5. If you're at 6, it's a 5. But, you might be closer. It might be a 3, it might be a 2, depending on your situation. And, yeah. It's just, you might be in a tough situation if they do catch you out for the grenade strategy. Because if you're playing for the grenade strategy, you're playing a dangerous game, my friend. You best have some melee squads prepared. Because they're going to try, if they catch you out, you're going to be in a melee fight. Especially if they're running a melee army. They're going to be meleeing up in your shit. So, look at all that paint going everywhere. Yeah. I think I was just doing that painting off screen there. I think that's about it. You rage up the Demon Prince, send him in if you need to. Gets that high AP, high damage in. Shoot with the laser cannon, shoot with the blight launchers. Blight launchers, especially with putrescent blades, wounded on a 5 becomes a 4, re-rolling. Pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. You can also, you know, veterans the squad with the blight launchers. You know, veterans, blades. Pretty tasty. Pretty tasty. 3 ups, re-rolling, going from 5. I've never shot at anything that's toughness 12 yet. So, you also need one more key thing. Plague Surgeon here. Fulgaris' Helm. Arch Contaminator. You get the re-rolls. And he's also got a 6-inch medic. It's good. Alright, everybody. I've rambled. I've had enough rambling. Thanks, Ollie. Thanks to everybody else who stopped in. If there's anybody else. I was trying to watch the chat and all that, but I'm going to catch y'all on the flips.